So my name is Agata Radkowska-Parka. I represent Rootka, a tour agency from Lublin, Poland, specializing in, as you can assume, Jewish heritage tours. Our main area of interest is Eastern Poland and Western Ukraine, with a special focus on our hometown, Lublin. And during my presentation, I would like to talk about my city and particularly about the event that took place there in the beginning of July this year, the Lubliner reunion. It was first of all the meeting of the descendants of Lublin Jews who came to Lublin on the invitation of the city of Lublin, but also it was in a way very indirect and respectful way of promoting Jewish heritage tours. I would like to look at it as a case study for what I believe it's a great model of work. So first, a few words of introduction about the city of Lublin. Lublin is situated in eastern Poland. It's the biggest city east from Vistula River, the 9th largest city in population, with around 350,000 inhabitants. Because of its location, it's a big bit of the track of the main tourist roads. This is the map showing Poland in the medieval period. As you can see, Lublin is right in the center of the country. Jewish life flourished in Lublin since as early as the establishing of the city in 14th century. Within a few centuries, the city became known as a center of religious and academic life of Polish Jews, and was even called by some the Jerusalem of Polish Kingdom. Before World War II, there was around 43,000 Jews living in Lublin, which was more or less 1/3 of the population of the city. Jewish life, the history of Jews in Lublin was cut short in the war as a result of Aktion Reinhardt, the mass killing of Polish Jews in the area of general government. Lublin was actually the Aktion Reinhardt center, and its region was the place where 2 death camps were erected, Bełżec and Sobibór, and also Majdanek, which was partly a concentration and for some time a death camp. The Jewish community of Lublin region suffered a great loss of population, connecting the name of Lublin in memory with death camps and with Aktion Reinhardt. It is not a place for going into details, but I just want to make it clear that the Jewish district was almost completely destroyed by Germans during the war. In this photo, for example, you can see Szeroka Street. It's a main street of Jewish district. And on the second one, that's how it looks now. It's a completely different space. It's a huge parking lot. This void poses a real problem for us, how to guide through non-existent streets and without much of the material heritage. It is also important to mention that there is no independent Jewish community in Lublin nowadays, and the number of Jews is estimated for around 40 people. As a result of all these factors, Lublin is associated by many with the history of the Holocaust and death, and not with 600 years of Jewish history preceding it. This raises a question how to promote Jewish heritage tourism in the city with almost no Jews and a little of Jewish heritage sites. One answer we gave to that question was the Lubliner reunion. In 2017, Lublin is celebrating 700 years of its history. And as a part of the program, the Lubliner reunion was designed to emphasize the significance of the Jewish community in the city's history. The Lubliner reunion was the event that gathered over 260 people from 16 countries. Among them, the biggest number came from US, 63 people, 61 from Israel, and then from Poland, France, Canada, Sweden, and others. 1/3 of the participants came to Lublin for the first time in their lives. They were coming either with whole families, individually, or in organized groups, like a group from Lublin Landsmannschaft. The youngest participant was an 8-month-old boy from France, and the oldest one was 90-year-old woman from Canada. We also had an honor of hosting 2 Holocaust survivors, born and raised in Lublin, who came to Lublin for the first time after the war. Within 5 days of the reunion, the participants had a chance to choose from the variety of activities. One of the central features were the presentation of Lubliners' family stories. It was really important for the organizers to give them the opportunity to share their stories so they can speak and to be listened to. 12 people decided to give a speech, and it was included into official program. Everyone could come, both the participants and also residents of Lublin. It was open for the public. Every day of the reunion, we had genealogical workshops and consultations, lectures concerning the history of Jewish Lublin, meetings with people involved in education and Polish-Jewish dialogue, among them, for example, Catholic bishops, commemoration ceremonies like an international inauguration of Memory Trail, a new commemoration done by Grodzka Gate this year to mark the borders of the ghetto and last path to Umschlagplatz. And artistic events, concerts, theater performances, exhibition. On the photo, for example, you see the concert of Yakov Lemmer, a cantor from New York, whose grandfather used to be a student in Lublin's yeshiva. So it was a nice coincidence. City tours, 22 walking tours on 7 different roads, showing both Jewish heritage but also top tourist attraction of the city. 17 regional tours for groups and for individuals. On the picture, for example, you see over 30 people family that met in such a big number for the first time and went to a village near Lublin to see the places their ancestor grew up in. And finally, for the end of the event, a Shabbat dinner as a closing ceremony, which was open, again, both for the participants and for Lublin residents. Bringing the participants to the reunion was first and foremost the result of the initiative of Grodzka Gate NN Theatre Center, which for 25 years has been working in the field, promoting the dialogue and preparing the foundation for such an event to be created. Natalia already mentioned a few times the name of Grodzka Gate, so for those one who doesn't know the organization, it's a municipal cultural institution devoted to commemoration, documentation and education of the Jewish past of the city of Lublin. It is important to stress the fact that Grodzka Gate is a public institution founded by the city, and its workers are mostly non-Jewish Poles. So in fact, Lubliners came on the official invitation of the city of Lublin and were welcomed by the city officials. The whole event was also possible thanks to the financial support of the city of Lublin. Secondly, it was possible thanks to the cooperation of a number of organizations working in the Jewish field, city institution, and local business. Among them, Rootka, acting as an official tour operator and partner of the program, which, just to remind you, I represent. Yep. Promotion included all the most popular contemporary means, like social media, websites, Facebook events, and Facebook closed groups, where people wrote and shared questions, found answers not only about the program of the event, but also their family stories, helping each other to research further. And one of the most effective ways of reaching our target crowd turned out what we called the ambassadors of the gate. Everyone knows the term whisper marketing. I think it's something that works the best, the word of mouth. Personal recommendation from people that went through a significant experience and are personally devoted. For Lublin, one such a person is Lioratek, a daughter of a Holocaust survivor who grew up on the same stigma of Poland as a place of death and was not willing to search for anything else. But after she came to Lublin, met Grodzka Gate, its staff and activities, she understood that there is much more to Lublin and its history and became a great ambassador of the Gate and the city of Lublin. While promoting the reunion, we used the idea of ambassadorship to reach the target participant on the personal level. We've created kind of unofficial representatives so far in Jewish communities in US, Israel, and Sweden. We already feel the growth of our ambassador community following the reunion. And I can already tell you that much of my work now is preparing itineraries for groups and individuals who heard of us from the participants of the reunion. For the purpose of that presentation, I've contacted some of the participants to hear their perspective over the project. It is important to mention that they kept in touch with us and want to stay updated and remain involved with what's going on in Lublin. I've got a feedback from everyone I asked to share a few words. And notice that this feedback was given to me 3 months after the event. The event was in July, so it is enough time to get over the excitement and to give an objective message. And we don't have time to read all the feedbacks, but the general message can be summarized by one short quotation from Zvika, a participant from Israel. The reunion was kind of a gate to Lublin for us. Lublin does not have to be a place of grieving, but also a good space for education, family meetings, and simply a place for having fun. I want to share another moving story of a participant following the reunion, a story of Zipora. Zipora was born in a small town in the Lublin region. She survived the Holocaust. Among the others, she survived few camps, but among the others also Majdanek, the camp in Lublin. And after the war, she ended up in an orphanage in Lublin. She left Poland she left Lublin in the end of 40s, never to come back until the reunion. It wasn't easy for her, and try to imagine that this 87 years old woman coming back to Lublin, and she was so touched and so impressed by what she experienced that she decided to come back to Lublin for a month and work as a volunteer in Grodzka Gate, a Holocaust survivor who thought she will never come back to Lublin. Of course, we are not going to hold such a reunion annually. But what we are seeing is a growing buzz following the event. We have much more organized group planning to come to Lublin next year, interested in getting to know more sides of the city, from Holocaust study tours through heritage groups and private visitors, to even people searching for having fun or spending a day shopping. Of course, I don't think it's all the result of the reunion. There are many other things changing in Poland and in Lublin specifically. Maybe the most significant is the development of Lublin Airport and the direct connection opened to Israel this year. Lublin has its momentum right now, and the reunion was part of it, creating this positive atmosphere around the city. It didn't all happen with one event or within 1 year. It took years of hard work in the field of memory and commemoration. And demonstrating this approach led me to a quote from Tomasz Pietrasiewicz, head of Grodzka Gate and then theater, the spiritus movens of most of the activities in the Jewish field in Lublin and the initiator of the reunion, speaking on the inauguration ceremony. After 25 years and all the work we had done with the memory of Lublin Jews, I can finally find the courage to stand in front of you, look into your eyes and say, welcome home. From my personal point of view, for me as an entrepreneur working in the Jewish field, I know that there is no marketing without memory. without a deep understanding, and without a respect toward the past. I'm not only involved in business, I'm a part of the community involved in Jewish commemoration and education activities. My travel agency could not have been created only as a business initiative. I think it wouldn't work in a longer perspective. I deeply believe that in order to promote Jewish heritage tours, especially in Poland, you need to try to deal with your history, commemorate victims, work on memory, and work with descendants. If people see that the work you're doing is authentic and dedicated, it's not a fake. They're willing to come and spend some time and enjoy their stay. I believe it's just a fair and respectful way of marketing Jewish heritage tours. So I hope to see you in Lublin. You're very welcome. If you have any questions, that's my contact information, and I will be happy to answer all your questions after the presentations. Thank you.